all of you are none the worse for wear and coping well with the pandemic. Spring is upon us, and the thoughts of a youngish octogenarian naturally turns to banjos. In that regard, here's an important message from Daddy Mustache. Now, this
Okay,
is
yeah.
quotes from Joel. Despite vociferous demands for information, we herewith provide you with almost none. Tentative date for the mustache invasion of New Haven is October 22nd to 24th, 2021. Final details will be available sometime in the next few weeks. In the meantime, you can prepare yourself by getting vaccinated and practicing. Musicians, expect to hear from Gim Burton or contact him at, and they give the email address. All others, that means managers and waiters, contact Marty Fay at, they have his email address. Washboard players, contact the U.S. Passport Office for special visas. This will be a big deal. Don't miss it. Keep the faith, Joel, Marty, and Gim.
Yeah, I did see that. I thought, as a matter of fact, I thought you forwarded it to me, but maybe I got it from Gim.
I might have forwarded it to you because I went through the mailing list and saw tried to pick out addresses or got people that I know that weren't on it and forwarded it. I forwarded it to about 3 or 4 people. You might have been one of them, David.
Yeah. Yeah, because I did see it was nicely written.
Yeah.
Well, Gim probably just took my mailing list because it comes
probably. And
well,
you know
that's
what?
good.
One guy we need to put on your mailing list is I already took care of that, but maybe not. Joe Petroselli. He was the lead banjo player out in Denver. You had his old email address, so I resent him what I read to y'all just now with his new email address. Maybe I need to get that to you.
Yeah, let me check.
Or check it right now and I'll give it to you.
Joe.
Where does Marty Fay work? Was he in Colorado?
No, New York.
Huh.
I don't even see Joe Petrocelli on here.
Petrucelli.
Okay.
Because I spoke to him and he said he's very interested. He's been to all of them.
Yeah. So spell Petrocelli.
Petrucelli.
Okay. And what's his email? Do you know?
His email address is J Petrocelli.
Petruc. Joe Petrocelli.
The number 8, the numeral 8.
Okay.
At gmail.com.
Okay. Well, he's on the list now.
Good, good.
Okay, here comes Snake.
Hey,
What'd you say, Snake?
Hey,
how you
Snake.
doing, guys?
Are you still buried out there in snow?
I had a little over 2 feet.
Yeah,
Jesus.
that's a lot.
A lot of snow.
Hey guys, I have this job that I'm in the midst of doing, so I just wanted to get this call started. So you guys can keep talking as long as you want. Whoever joins in will come in automatically, and I'll check on you in a while. But I got to go.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna miss you.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where you're gonna have to pull out your banjo, Barry.
Yeah. Well, with this reunion, I think it's of utmost importance to try to get as many of the waiters, bartenders, managers, and service staff involved. Because sometimes we lack on that. We get a bunch of musicians. For instance, at Carnegie, we had 90 musicians and like 8 waiters, managers,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a shame. because if you look at the ratio, there was certainly a lot more service people than there were musicians, you know,
Yeah,
the mustache. Now the musicians, I guess, since it was a certain style of music, we're fine. It's near and dear to our heart, you know. But a lot of people like you, David, and certainly Tom, Billy Blank was there for a long time. Rick was there for a long time. You know, of course, Roger. You know, it'd be important that they all know about this and are invited. And maybe I should be saying this when we got more people on. Maybe I will. You know, but with Snake, when we went down to, for instance, Florida and clear, what was it, Clearwater, something like that. Well, we had one or two guys from Denver. Gene, somebody, you remember Gene?
Gene, oh yeah,
Yeah, he showed up, and maybe another guy from Denver, and that was it. I mean, you know, there was no waiters that showed up, you know, and that's a shame, I think.
yeah. Hey, I
And
went
I
in,
guess we come up with some mechanism. For instance, Marty Fay is heading up for all the waiters, but he's a New York guy. We need a Denver guy and a New Orleans guy, you know? I would think Billy Blank would be good for that. Yeah.
yeah, it is.
hey, I went
Yeah.
into the barber shop yesterday and told him I wanted a berry haircut.
Oh yeah, is that you look good? You look good. You look like a freaking cue ball now.
No,
I tell you what, you don't have to worry about driving in a car and the wind blowing your hair. Don't worry about that anymore.
Time to get that convertible.
I use lemon pledge. It beads up in the rain.
There you go.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah,
That was quick.
either we were talking about in this reunion, how could we get more? He mentioned an email that Marty Fay out of New York was going to be the go-to person for the waiters and service personnel. But my comment, Tom, is how can we get more waiters involved? Because when we went to Clearwater, Florida, only a handful of waiters showed up. There was about 60 musicians and a handful of waiters or managers. You know, and that's a shame. If Marty takes New York, I was thinking Billy, or maybe you, but probably Billy could take New Orleans and try to get in touch with. Billy knows a lot of people, you know,
Yeah,
or
Billy
remembers a
does.
lot of the names. You know, just to let them know we're doing this. Should they not want to go, that's okay too, but at least we want to let them
It
know.
would be good if we could just take their names and try to get them in on a Friday and just talk about it.
Right. Yeah. That'd be great, you know. So is Billy coming on today? Do you know?
Now, Billy's got a stomach flu.
No.
What about Rick? I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, he's got
Rick-
something going on this week and
Rick
next
this
week.
whole month is working at a fish fry for his church.
Yeah, his
He
church
said he was gonna be gone all month.
for Lent down here in New Orleans. All the Catholic churches do a fish fry every Friday night,
Or do they?
or most of them do. I know I've eaten fish from a Catholic school for the last 4 weeks.
Yep.
You know,
How's the
Ida
weather?
says, let's go support the church. Go buy some fish.
How is the weather in New Orleans?
It's cold today. It's 50 degrees, 52 degrees, and dreary looking, cloudy.
Snake
not
says,
cold.
that's not cold.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a little chilly. But before today, I mean, down here it was should have hit 80, you know, it was in the 80s. So it was warm, even warm and humid. You know, that breeze is blowing off the Gulf, you know, south wind blowing up that makes it warm. But right now it's a north wind blowing, so that cools it down.
Tom, what state are you from?
I live right outside of Washington, D.C.,
Oh,
in Maryland.
Maryland?
And the weather here has been great. This week it got cold again, but last week it was 70.
No, we've had a mild winter except for that damn snow.
Yeah.
But boy, it really, and then it had wind behind it too, so it drifted.
But my other friend from Colorado was telling me that you guys really need water. And
Yeah.
this is a great way because it's slowly permeates into the ground.
Well, they had in the mountains, they had, some places had 5 feet.
Yeah.
And that's good because that's our reservoirs.
Hey, Snake, you worked with Joe Petroselli, didn't you?
I have.
Yeah. Well, I talked to him last week, and we're trying to get all the stuff, the emails to him. We had the wrong email address, but I think we just corrected that, Tom and I. But he's been to all of these things. He goes to all of them. He was at Punta Gorda. He was at Clearwater. He was at Carnegie. He was up at Oklahoma City. So were you, Snake, I think.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
I've been, I didn't go to Punta.
Or you didn't go to Punta Gorda. Yeah, but he was there. Petroselli was there. I remember sitting out at this little restaurant with him, an outdoor restaurant.
Yeah. No, I've been to 3 of the 4.
And he's a good guy. I like him a lot.
He's a retired cop.
And he was a good band leader.
Yeah, he's got a band now, and that plays about twice a month at the Bull and Bush.
Bull and Bush. Yeah, I've seen YouTube videos, and they call themselves a pretty swanky name. Your father's mustache.
That's right.
Did they really?
I guess he got the rights to the name through Joel.
That's what I heard. Mike Johnson
Michael.
could tell us that
Am I?
Oh, Mike.
because Mike's part of that group.
Hello, guys.
Good to see you, Mike.
You too. How are y'all?
Good.
You're doing good, Mike. Long
Good.
time since I talked to you, Mike.
Yeah, a few hours.
Yeah, Mike and I talked on the phone very recently. Yeah.
So how are you doing with the snow out there?
Oh, it's good today. It was a bit of a bitch on Sunday and Monday, but melting off pretty good. And I'm just glad I don't have to go out and work or anything anymore. So I didn't have to get out into it. I got out yesterday and today for a while, but probably close to 2 feet here at the house where I'm at, and more in some places in Colorado. How about you, Snake?
I had a little over 2 feet.
Yeah.
I guess up in the mountains at places they had 5.
Well, Bill Clark and Susie Gentry at their house at Genesee, they got almost 3 feet. It's not too far from your house, Snake.
No, Genesee isn't.
That's another guy we need to get in touch with for the reunion or that couple.
I've let him know about it, Barry. Some of the stuff I've gotten recently, I didn't see Bill's name on the list anywhere, and Bill and Eugene
Right.
LeBeau and Petrocelli and I think Dennis Condrey and maybe Ted Turner. I emailed all that stuff to them.
Well, you know what? I think Ted Turner's on a list. Petroselli was on the list. All the names you mentioned, but the email addresses change.
Yeah, I'll look at the stuff on Kim's list and kind of try to update it on add anything that's
Right.
not on there. And Tom, I noticed on some of yours, a few of those names I don't think are on there either. Harold Johnson, do you have him?
Yeah. MJRBONE
Yeah,
AOL.com.
I talked to him recently and he said that he had, maybe it was email. He said he had been on a couple of times, but he's been busy and hasn't had a chance to do it. So he's looking at doing it again at some point.
Yeah, but he joined us here on the Zoom meeting a few times.
Good.
H and
How about LeBeau?
LeBeau has never come on a Zoom meeting, but I've spoken to him on the phone,
Okay,
and he's game for any type of reunion. He's also one that has been the most of them.
yeah, I wish I could do it, but there's no way in the world I can do it. But congratulations, Barry Fulan, on your first gig in a year, man.
Yeah, how about that? First gig in a year, Wednesday night.
Here's a toast to Barry
luck,
Fulan
man.
and playing again.
Yeah,
Where are you playing?
I played at Fritzel's.
Did you?
Yeah, and it was weird because they had this. It's not plexiglass and it's not visqueen. It's like in between. It's a clear thing, curtains hanging in front of the bandstand, so you can see through it. It's clear. It's clean as like you can hardly see it if you're not looking for it. But it's around the bandstand, so we're playing it as visqueen plexiglass in front of you. And you got to get used to it as a musician because all the sound like for instance, my banjo is playing, it hits that plexiglass and comes right back at you. You're not used to that.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Sort of
Yeah,
sounds like the old country and western bars with this chain link fence in front. to keep
Yeah, that's what I
autos
was just gonna
coming
say,
through.
Mike.
Well, that was our joke. We had two jokes.
Movie with Roadhouse
Don't
with-
feed, please don't feed the musicians. The
Yeah,
other joke was, we're not taking requests for rawhide.
yeah.
There's
But-
another guy from Denver that might be interested too, Jim Calm.
Mhm.
Ooh,
Jim Calm?
oh, yeah.
But he didn't work at the Mustache,
Yeah.
did he?
Yeah,
Cullum did?
no. Calm.
Calm, C-A-L-M.
Well, I don't know him.
He's a tuba player.
Yeah,
If you send me his emails, anybody sends me an email, I'll just put them on the list. And you know, some of them might join us on a Friday and get into the idea of coming.
I'll send it to you. Jim's an interesting guy. He taught music for years, and he's also a hell of an organist and plays a couple of the big organs in theaters around town.
Well, I tell you what, I remember for Carnegie, I was given the task of finding everybody from the New Orleans club and getting in touch with them. And that was quite an ordeal.
Yeah.
And they sent me lists from the payroll, the Mustache payroll.
Did they really?
Yeah, and Ira's got all those lists. So if we get, when Ira comes on, if we get him to, for instance,
I might,
Mike,
hey, Mike,
Hey,
Hello,
Mike,
Barry.
but if we get him to separate those lists and send it out to point people like Marty Fay, Billy Blank, you know,
I
did it
did
have
that.
any of the actual payroll on it, like the money?
no.
No.
I'd like to see that from then.
But
Yeah.
it's quite a job tracking down a lot of people because a lot of people worked at the Mustache,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I'd love to see Bruce Malance on again.
Remember, he showed up when Joel came to town. Well, you weren't here, Tom, but
I
Mike
wasn't
was.
there.
You remember that, Mike? When
Yep.
Joel came to town, we all ate at the old your father's mustache.
Hey, Jim.
The Seaport, yeah.
Yeah, the
hey,
seaport.
Jim.
Again,
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hey, we got your email, Gim. We were just
Very
talking
good.
about it. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna try it again.
So are those dates firm, the 22nd to 24th, or?
Well, until proven otherwise, yeah. It's
Okay.
there are a couple of guys who can't make it, but that's the way it's gonna go.
Yeah.
And it really all depends upon what Marty can pull off. Marty's got the ball right now. He's got to go out and find us a hotel and find us venues to play in. So, so our fearless leader, Daddy Mustache, is of a strong conviction that he can do whatever the hell he wants, wherever he wants, whenever he wants, with whomever he wants. So
Wave his magic wand, Jim, and it'll happen, right?
that's it, babe. You get the idea. So now he sends Marty out to see if we can get the same hotels and things that he had before. And I haven't heard back from Marty, but I don't really know. So to answer your question it's all contingent upon the facilities at this point.
Right.
Barry, you were talking about, I won't be able to make it this year. The health just won't allow it. It's too far away. But as for reunions in the past, in '87 in Carnegie Hall, I worked on letting everybody in Denver know, and I'll do that again. So
Yeah,
we
there's a
have to take care of the Denver part.
Yeah, I'm gonna need help on this because I got some names that came back on my email. You already sent me Petruccelli's number address, so that's great. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
And,
Yeah,
and-
he's retired from being a cop. The old address he had was his cop number, but this is his
Yeah.
personal number now.
and I'll take the musicians in New Orleans. So for the New Orleans club, I'll volunteer for that. And
Good. And
it looks like what we were discussing before you came on, Gim, was we always get pretty good attendance from musicians, but not too good attendance from managers and waiters, service personnel. So we get people to be the point person for that. For instance, somebody like a Billy or Tom, that could take the service personnel, and then somebody, maybe Ira in New York,
Sure.
but we have
Well,
to, We'd have to
Well-
get musicians in New York. That might be you, Kim, getting a musician for the New York club.
I'll get the musicians. That's not an issue. With regards to the, waiters and bartenders and managers and all that crew, Marty's trying to put together a list of all of those guys. So he'll need help when he gets that put together.
But he's really only familiar with New York.
Well, he's got a list. He's got John McLernand's old list, and
I
he's
got you.
trying to pull that up. Pull those names off of that list and then go from there. So,
Hey, Chris.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, Chris.
I wish Marty would come on this Zoom. But he doesn't do Zoom, Kim, or what?
he's learning. Yeah, our first meeting with Marty and Joel was a comedy of errors. I'll tell you, it was really funny.
Well, what else is new?
Exactly.
No.
Well, Jim, you
I know
said
that.
that joke about Zoom being like a seance.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you hear me now?
Exactly. Then it's something.
Chris, are you planning on doing the reunion or what?
Oh, yeah, I'm in.
Oh, he's on my list.
So everybody here, Dave, Iffy, David,
Yeah.
Iffy, Tom, you would go, huh?
Yeah, yeah, I got to check the date, but
And Snake, you would go.
I've got to find the oxygen concentrator at the source, though, in Winter Haven. I've got a
Is that
portable. I got
Is
a
that a
portable.
yes or no?
Yeah, I'm going.
Okay,
Good,
and Mike, you
good.
couldn't go, huh?
I would go.
Mike Johnson, you couldn't go, huh?
I can't do it, man.
That breaks my heart.
Yeah, it does. It really is.
I can only
Breaks
walk
my
about
heart.
30 feet without getting out of breath with oxygen these days. So
Man, get a wheelchair.
yeah.
We won't laugh at you too much.
I'm not
You're not going, Mikey, because Peter B is not there.
That's what it is.
I'd love to, Mike, but I can't do it.
And Gentry, you would go, right?
What's that? I'm going? Yeah,
You going, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're counting on.
Well,
Well,
who knows? Petrocelli talked about driving back there and stuff. If that happens, maybe, just maybe, but we'll see when time gets closer. I'd love to do it, know that.
We'll get him to drive. You'll take 2 days to drive it. That's all.
2 or 3,
3 days.
3
Yeah.
days. Yeah.
3 days. Take 3 days to drive it, then you can come.
Well, we both got time,
I'm
but
gonna talk to him about driving you there.
That'll
well,
work.
he's already talked about it. We both got time, but I don't know if we could stand each other in a car for 3 days together.
Probably not. That'd be the biggest obstacle. He'll be telling you old cop stories and you'll be talking about Peter Babcock.
Oh, he never talks about the cop stuff very often.
Really?
But we'd be fine. We'd be fine with it for 2 or 3 days in a car. We've been friends for 50 years, We put up with each other for 50 years.
There's
Mike,
Peter.
Mike,
Peter
got a hold of-
Brady.
got a hold of Bill
All
Barr.
right, Pete.
Hey, Pete.
I agree.
Hello, Peter.
hey, Pete,
How's everyone?
Good. So Peter, we talking about this upcoming reunion. Would you show up?
Yes.
Very
Good.
good. Good.
I just talked to my wife and she says, "Oh yeah, that's fall season. We like to take pictures of the fall leaves." So
You take a picture of me, Peter. That's all right.
That's a good. That's a leaf season. It is. It's the middle of leaf season.
yeah. Hey, whatever happened to Eddie Alley?
He lives in Colorado. Isn't that right, Dave and Tom?
yeah,
That's what
I
He was
saw him about
originally from Grand
40
Junction.
years ago with Billy.
I think he was originally from Grand Junction on the western slope of Colorado, but I don't know. I never knew him really well, but I'm not sure exactly where he is these days.
Who is it?
Eddie
Alley.
Ali. He was the last general manager of the New Orleans club.
Oh,
He was a waiter for many years. And we had a New Orleans reunion, David, and he and his wife came in, remember? They sat
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
balcony of the facade that was your father's mustache and had lunch there. You remember that, or dinner? David?
No, I remember the one at the Mexican place on St. Charles.
Oh, yeah. I was at that one too.
Well, the one at the old mustaches where Milton Mary went to the bathroom and came out and said, "Wasn't I in your old office?"
He said, Fred, I just pissed in your old office. Yeah, yeah. But you see, that's a guy like Milton Mary. You
Yeah.
know, he's not on any of the lists or anything, but he's always putting some on Facebook about his days at the mustache.
Mike Johnson,
Yeah.
what about like not Fat Albert? Who are the two guys that had a pet rat? The two waiters. Remember them?
Oh, geez, I don't know.
Yeah, you do. For
No.
sure. I can't think. Flegel, not Flegel, but somebody
Oh.
else.
Yeah. What? Speaking of
They
Flegel.
called him Weird Harold.
Oh, Weird Harold. Yeah, Harold Bartley. I talked to him for 87 reunion and stuff. I might be able to get hold of him, but the thing about it was for 87 and Carnegie, I contacted a lot of old waiters. I did actually talk to them. Guys like Steve Small and Louis Ciccinelli and a bunch of others. Nobody wanted to go. The only one that went to any of them was Kent McBride went to Carnegie and Gene Weston went to
Clearwater.
Clearwater. Yeah,
Yeah.
he had a great time.
We'll
That
get
was good to
those.
see Gene.
We'll call those two guys, and also Ted Turner. He's joined us on the Zoom once or twice.
Yeah, he got I forwarded him the information. He said he's already sent
Yeah,
a
he's coming.
response to Joel.
Ted Turner said yes.
Yes.
Good.
I imagine Tom, is Tom there?
No, he had to go take care of that other,
I wonder if there's a way we go back, an easy way we go back through these Zoom meetings. We've had probably about 50 of them now, and see who has attended. So we're not forgetting anybody that at least attended this meeting, the Zoom meeting. Because that would be a good bet for getting people,
Good idea. Good idea.
I'm just wondering if there's an easy way to do it instead of open up all those Zoom.
That's the only way you can do it. You got to look at it like you're looking at a video.
Man, if you're on it, Mike, that turns me off. I tell you, that turns me off. I'm not doing. I don't volunteer for that job.
Kim, if
Yes, sir.
you send out something about the actual dates, because I haven't seen anything about the actual dates. All I know is sometime in October.
22nd, 24th.
Well, did you get the email from me? You must
I
have.
get some from you, but I don't know. I'll go back and look and see what's on it.
If you look at it, it tells you the October 22 to October 24 in New
Okay.
Haven.
Okay. I'll
That
look
was
for it.
that note was Joel's idea. I mean, he wanted to send out a notification so that everybody was on alert. When we get things more in place, we'll send another note with arrangements and timing and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
But the dates are October 22 to 24.
Okay.
PM, did you have a chance to look at that tune list that came out from last year?
Yeah, I was the one that found it, and I sent it to Joel because he couldn't find his.
Okay.
Well, it's a great.
There's about 3 hours of the music on there.
Well, of course.
But half the songs are not mustache songs. I love them all, and I know them all, but they're not songs we did at the mustache. And I would, if we're doing concerts, I wouldn't vote for doing material we're not used to doing. You talk about a clusterfuck, I mean, if we start doing American Patrol, which we all know, but all of us together, we didn't play that nightly at the mustache. I think that'd be a mistake.
Yeah, I will go over the list. That's a good idea. Because I frankly didn't look at it. I looked at it back in the first time around, which was beginning of last year.
Yeah, I'm for playing the stuff that we know and we've done together for years, that we know works. We know that we can get in it and get out of it without too much trouble. If we screw it up, it's okay,
Good point.
Hey,
Good
you can
point.
always revert to this songbook.
I would stick with the mustache stuff that we know.
Really?
I was just kidding, guys.
Mhm.
I found that recently. I thought I had a mustache sing-along book, but I can't find it.
All right.
Well, I'll tell you what, your email got me excited, Jim, anyway. That was good.
Well, it's a positive step. We'll see. We'll make sure we'll do our best to make it go all the way through and pull this thing off. It'd be kind of.
This is still dependent on COVID though, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
For me, it
I
is,
mean,
yeah.
Well,
They say-
well, the good news is Connecticut's doing really well in its COVID handling of the COVID crisis. I think it's on pretty soon. The vaccinations are going to be open to everybody, and they're already into the 40 and 50-year-olds now. So we're doing pretty well in getting people vaccinated, and that's kind of the key to controlling the pandemic.
Absolutely. But there's people who are not going to get vaccinated.
Well, there's always a few. There's always a few holdouts. But,
So you're saying Marty is the point person right now?
he's the point person right now. He's got the biggest job to do. He's got the biggest hurdle. Once he gets his thing done, we get over that hurdle, then we can start putting more and more details into
And his
place.
hurdle is procuring a hotel.
Well, get the hotels and get the venues too. We got to have a place to play.
Yeah.
The general plan is to have, I would imagine everybody will be arriving on Friday, perhaps Thursday, and have some sort of a get together on Friday night. And like we talked about last week.
Right.
And I talked him out of having us play on Friday night. So the idea is, and again, this is a very thought formative. I mean, we're just still thinking about this and trying to put a plan in place that makes this happen. But to play, have a little get together on Friday nights. Maybe I suggested playing the bar at the hospital, like we did at the hotel, rather, like we did in New York, and that kind of thing. And then on Saturday noon, he wants to get together with his local jazz band and have a sort of a party on Saturday afternoon. Then we play Saturday night. We play Sunday afternoon. That's the general outline.
Well, that sounds good. If there's two concerts.
Yes. One where we've played in a place before up in Hamden, which is a town that's about maybe 10, 15 miles out of New Haven. They have a nice little venue up there. We've been in there a couple of times, and he and Joel is tight with the lady that runs that joint. So we may be able to go up there on Saturday night and then have something local in New Haven on Sunday afternoon. At least that's the plan. At least that's the idea of a plan. We'll see if we can make it happen.
So does he have any idea of like expenses, what it would cost everybody to come?
Well,
per person?
Joel's got that ball. He's trying to figure it all out. And he's doing his spreadsheet, and he said he'll get us together. That is to say, Marty and me later, as soon as he's done that. And a lot of that will depend upon the hotel. I mean, what the hotels we get. And so as soon as we get a fix on that, or any kind of, even an idea, I'll feed it back to you guys.
I wish we could get Marty to come on this Zoom with us, the 9 people we have on here now. He might get some ideas,
Well, I'll put that to him maybe next week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have him come on. And Joel too, although Joel, well, Joel.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jim, when you mentioned Joel's jazz band, are you talking about Galvanized?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good band.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, I used to hear that. I used to like to listen to them in Connecticut.
I worked with them from time to time, when Joel doesn't, I sub for him sometimes.
Yeah.
Speaking of bands, I want to tell you all that Wednesday night, first time I was back on Bourbon Street. How about that?
Really?
One
right.
year. In 1 year. 1 year not to the day, because my last gig there at Fritzl's was March 15th last year, and I played March 17th, the night before last. But as Wednesday nights go, it's the same exact day of the year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so 1
I was
year,
gonna-
5 weeks.
I was going to ask you about that because I got a note from Lee Floyd, who said he was going to work with, he had a gig on Bourbon Street with Danny.
Yeah, that's a block down from where I'm at.
Okay.
And I'll tell you that when I usually work down there, it's at a restaurant. We're playing dinner jazz. It's easy. Fritzl's is more, help me out, Mike and Peter. Fritzl's is more like your father's mustache jazz version.
Exactly.
It's
That's exactly
jazz
it.
version of your father's mustache. In other words, everything's fast and loud.
Yeah.
And look, let me tell you what, when I got the call last Sunday, I got the call and they said, can you work Wednesday night? I said, sure. And all of a sudden I went into a state of panic.
Exactly.
Panic because I hadn't played in a year.
I know. I
So
know.
I was telling Mike this yesterday. I practiced 3 hours Sunday, 3 hours Monday, 3 hours Tuesday, and Wednesday, the day of the gig, I did 1 hour in the daytime and then got there early and did another 45 minutes. And I'd be damned if I made it through the gig. So
That's good.
I was happy with that. It was a
You
little
bet.
different playing with visqueen type stuff, plexiglass stuff all around you.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was different. That was different. You know,
How
with
much of that was muscle memory, Barry?
not muscle memory in the right hand, the left hand, after practicing that much, practicing like 12 hours in 3 or 4 days, there was no calluses. The
That's
calluses are gone. So again, as you know, pressing those strings starts hurting.
It sure does. Sure
It
does.
starts hurting. You know, you don't think about it. If I keep playing in a month, I won't even think about that anymore, as you guys don't either. But
Right.
when you lay off for a year and then start pressing them for 10 hours straight, oh man.
All right.
Hey, Ira.
Ira,
You rock.
Good afternoon, everybody.
What'd you say, Ira?
How are you guys?
We're doing good.
No Mark Heater today, huh?
No, but we're talking about the reunion. You want to take responsibility? You got the list of people, right? Don't you? You
Yeah.
want to take responsibility for getting New York service personnel?
I mean, what, send them an email about the meeting?
About the
Reunion?
reunion, yeah.
I can do that.
You know, or get in touch with them, or talk to them, or whatever, or send them an email, or
I'll
forward.
send
any
out an
emails.
email to all the New York people who have an email address for.
Then forward the ones from Gim or Marty. Marty's the point person of this whole deal right now. You know Marty, so get in touch with him.
Marty who?
Marty
Marty
Fay.
Fay. Marty
Oh,
Fay.
yeah, Marty, okay. I think he's in Connecticut still.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You did it for Carnegie, didn't you?
I kept track for ticketing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Email for in New Haven?
The reunion's gonna be in New Haven, yes.
Do we have the dates yet?
Yes.
October 22nd to 24th.
October, okay. Okay,
Now, Ira, you think you're gonna be there?
I'm not sure. It depends on flights and all that. If I feel safe flying, I'll be there.
Well, I will tell you that on this call, there's 10 of us and eight out of 10 are definitely going, so you need to change your mind.
8 out of 10 are definitely going?
7 out of 10,
7 out of 10.
Barry,
yeah.
Barry,
Oh, and they're probably mostly from the New Orleans club.
No, I think me and Mike and Peter are only, the musicians from New Orleans Club. The other guys are, we
We'll
hope
find
they
out.
can
I'll
be
send out the email.
there. Yeah.
Barry,
Who's taking care of the other guys? Denver and,
I'm taking
Mike
care of
Johnson's
that,
taking
Ira.
care of Denver.
oh, okay,
Jim's taking care of the musicians in New
Right.
York.
okay.
I'm gonna take care of New Orleans, the musicians, and hopefully we'll recruit Billy Blank since he's not here. We'll
Mhm.
recruit him to get the waiters.
Okay,
And Mike Johnson said he's gonna get the guys from Denver, both musicians and waiters.
Yeah, I'll take care of that.
well, I'm gonna do everybody from New York except musicians, right?
Yeah, Gim's gonna
Okay.
handle that.
Is Danny
Barry,
going? Is
Mar-
Danny
Marty-
going, Barry?
Danny said he would go.
Barry,
I'm
Yeah,
in the pool for $100.
Barry, this is important. I don't play anymore.
Oh,
well,
shucks.
we know that, but we'd love to have you there.
That doesn't
I'm gonna
matter.
be there. I just don't
Yeah.
count on me playing, but
You didn't play in Clearwater, but we loved having you there.
I physically can't play anymore because of the cancer that I had on my lip.
Guess what? It's never too late to take up the banjo. You've been wanting to do that for years anyway.
I sold that damn thing.
I saw that.
I mean,
Go get a washboard, Peter.
Yeah.
Petrocelli and Mike Gentry started on the tube and ended up on a banjo.
Is that right?
You'll
Yeah.
probably get McClernand and Franny Smith at the reunion.
Probably,
Yeah, and Danny will be there.
probably.
$100.
Petrocelli started on tuba and ended up on banjo.
Who?
Petrocelli.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's right. No, Danny will be there. Danny will be there.
$100.
What about Jamie
$100?
Bryce?
He showed up but he was there at Clearwater and Punta Gorda.
Jamie,
Okay.
And he also was there at Oklahoma City.
Mhm.
But he wasn't at Carnegie or Connecticut.
No.
We'll see. It's a crapshoot. I hope he comes.
What'd Joe Terra say about Danny? What'd he say?
Tell him, Barry. Tell him what Joe said.
Joe Terra said Danny's, it's a racial slur. So y'all need to put up.
It
with-
wasn't meant as a racial slur.
Yeah, he said Danny Rubio's the laziest white man he ever saw. So he shits in the bed and kicks it out with his feet.
And he never calls. Never calls.
That's Joe Terra, maybe
Yeah.
30 years ago.
what about Jamie Bryce?
Now that's a name, Jamie Bryce. Who's got Denver? Mike?
I do.
Bryce. You got the
Jamie
info,
Bryce?
Mike?
Well, Condrey in here.
You got the info for Bryce?
Jamie's up on the case, isn't
I don't
he?
have it. I'll get it from Dennis Condrey. They're old friends going back about.
And Country was in Florida.
Who?
Condrey.
Country did Florida, Clearwater, so called Condrey.
Condrey already said,
Condrey, Florida.
Condrey already said yes.
Good.
Yep.
But Jamie Bryce, that's one. They all partners.
But he's up on Cape Cod, isn't he?
He's up
Jimmy
to,
Price.
I hope DeFeo comes.
I haven't talked to him. I don't know. He probably, he's pretty loyal. He probably will. I'll bet
Yeah.
on it.
Eighth will come.
And
Yeah,
and Eugene LeBeau will be there. He just don't come on Zoom calls and all, but he'll be there.
H?
Yeah.
What about H?
H will be there.
Good.
And he got laid off from Disney.
Yeah, what, 6 months ago or a year ago or something?
Yeah.
So what's he doing now, Pete?
He's just sending humor on the emails.
Yeah, and he put a video up on,
He and Gim. Gim's into that humor stuff on the emails now.
Oh, Lord, yes.
What's the one you sent today? Just a few minutes ago, I got it. It was pretty good.
Yeah, they come over the transom, so I send them on.
Yeah.
Is Joel gonna be there?
I guess Joel will be there.
I hope so.
Kim,
Did all you guys?
I was looking over the schedule from last year on one of the emails that had an attachment of the schedule from last year. It
Yeah.
was like every event was like $50 to get in the door. Is that going to be like the same thing this year?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Joel said he's going to work it out and let us and figure out the finances and let us know. I said that. Have at it, big guy.
That's the only way you can do it.
Okay.
I just hope we're not playing forever and ever. When we were down in Punta Gorda, man, we it was like a job, Chris. We were playing the whole time, man. If we weren't performing, we were rehearsing for the next performance.
Was
We're at
Punta
the bar.
Gorda, was that a reunion?
It wasn't a
No.
reunion. It was
Musicians get together?
No,
No.
it's called a banjo bash for a guy down there that tries to raise money for horns for kids.
yeah, it was a banjo rally. That's what it was.
Okay. Punta Gorda's like
Punta Gorda,
a half hour
yeah.
from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was all right. It was this big, huge hall and there was nobody in it. We're playing to nobody.
Whoops. That's no good.
I mean, they had people there, but the hall was so big. It was like one of these big community centers.
Yeah,
It looked empty.
Uh,
I'd like
There
to
were
have
like
the reunion
there was
in New
300
Orleans.
people there, Barry.
Huh?
There were 300 people there, 300 or 400 people.
300, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Which is
That's
a
not
nice
bad.
job, but in that big building, I mean, it looked like it was empty to me.
I think we should have the reunion in New Orleans.
Yeah,
Great idea. Great idea.
That's where
I
I
like
think it
that.
should be. Would Joel make it down there?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well,
I don't
Joel
think
is,
he wants to, but you never know. If Marty can't get a hotel up there, maybe we could have it down here. Who knows?
well, Joel is not as mobile as he used to be, and he's not getting any better. I mean, holding your own is about as good as we can do these days, you know?
Right.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I like your email, or at least I agree with it, Gim. This is the most likely of the last reunion.
Yeah.
We said that last time.
And the time before that. The time before that.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
I don't know.
Well, we lost a lot since the last reunion, since Carnegie.
Yeah, we
Half a
lose
dozen?
them. We lose
Yeah.
them right from the Zoom meeting. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I think New Orleans would be the best spot. You really think Joel couldn't make it, huh?
I wouldn't bet on it, but I wouldn't. When I saw him last, which was well, probably 6 or 7 months ago. I mean, I see him on Zoom,
Right?
but he looks about the same as he did last year. But you know, I would really hesitate to. I would hesitate to say that he could do it because it would be a strain, and I just don't think he'd do it well. You know, he would probably be the worst for wear. So
Okay, so we'll do Connecticut.
well, yeah, he knows Connecticut. He's got a lot of connection. He's got a lot of connections there, so it's a lot easier to pull something off when you're a known commodity to the local
Right.
folks.
Yeah,
Right.
that's for sure.
That makes
He's-
sense.
He mentioned he's got some sort of a big real estate deal in the works, which is going to tie him up a lot. So which I find kind of surprising because he's been in and out of real estate for quite a while. So
Was he ever totally out of it?
well, for a while, but not much. Not much. He was in and out of the scrap business for a long time. But
Oh, he's been out of that for years.
yeah, right. But he was.
I
he
think
was,
Michael
yeah,
has it.
He's been out for a while. Oh, Michael runs it now, yeah, or did. I haven't talked to Michael in a long time, so I don't know.
Hey, did you guys look at what Chris posted on his Facebook page, the 87 reunion?
Yeah, I
Did you
did.
all look at that?
The
I
video,
don't-
yeah, it's great.
You should look at it, the 1987 reunion. It's on Chris's Facebook page entitled Your Father's Mustache. It's about an hour long, Chris?
No, it's shorter. It's only about 30 minutes,
Yeah.
but it's the whole, it's that whole presentation that Joel did where he
Oh, I
went through
saw that.
Yeah,
went through the history of the clubs, and
Right.
he had some footage from somebody who had taken some home
Right.
movies at the
Opening night of
opening.
New
I
Orleans,
shot all the
opening night.
video in Connecticut.
Right, opening night of Boston and all that. It's
Right.
really good. I encourage all y'all to look at that.
It was a good video.
I did. It's nice.
you can find it easily on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and put in Your Father's Mustache 1987 reunion, and it comes up there too.
Yeah.
Really good.
That was the best reunion, I think.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful night.
That was great.
It was a hell of a weekend, Chris.
Yeah.
Well, of course, you guys were all 30 years younger then, right?
But if you think about that reunion, we didn't do any concerts.
None.
Really?
No,
No concerts. The first night
Just
was the
Friday
welcome
night, you
night.
guys played a little bit.
Well, the first night was a welcoming night. It was in the basement of Joel's office building.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was just all of us sitting in and getting up there and playing.
Right.
The second day was out at the shore on the Sound. It was an outdoor
Yeah.
tent. And again, it was whoever wanted to play got up there and played. So it
Right.
wasn't really a concert. And then Saturday night was the deal on
dinner.
stage, the way he built the club on stage. And we went up there and played up on the stage, but it wasn't a concert.
Right. There was no concert, but there was a lot of playing.
A lot of jam
A lot
sessions
of playing. And then Sunday we got with the Galvanized Jazz Band at some bar.
at the old
Mhm.
grist mill.
Right.
Oh, the old
But,
grist mill,
but
right,
there was
Jim?
no concert. There was no paying or anything. The audience was
Us.
the
Right.
audience was us and our spouses, and that's it. So we don't really need a freaking audience. I mean,
But that was great. That was a great weekend.
That was a great weekend.
Yeah. It was really nice.
I think it was so good because there was no concert. Believe me, when you think about it.
Might have been. Everybody had fun.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Nothing wrong with a jam session.
I don't know what he's planning for this reunion, if he's going to plan a concert or.
Two of them.
Two 90-minute concerts.
Probably. That's the plan. We'll see how it comes off.
To see how many people are going to be coming.
Ira, you missed the earlier discussion. I said, Marty and Joel and I had a meeting and we just talked about generally how to organize this thing. And if we can do this, the plan now is to have a get together on Friday night and then have a lunch and have the jazz band, the Galvanized Jazz Band on Saturday afternoon, and we play a gig on Saturday night, a concert somewhere, most probably in Hamden, but we'll see. And then a concert somewhere on Sunday afternoon in New Haven. And but Marty's out now trying to find venues for all of this and a hotel and stuff like that. So this is all in a very formative stage. It could change 100 times. We don't know. I don't know.
Marty
Is
Fay's
Marty-
taking care of the venues.
Pardon me?
Marty Fay is going to look for venues up there.
Yes. Well, he did all that back the first time. And so first thing he's going to go is revisit all those if we can get there. The hotel I think it was a theater of some sort where for the concert, but I don't remember where.
So you
But
talking
anyway,
about last year when he did
Yeah,
it
yeah,
for all that.
exactly. The plan that we had to cancel. Yeah.
Right.
The theater for the 87 reunion, according to that video that Chris put up, was called the Palace.
The Palace
Well,
Theater.
It was
Palace
the
or the
Palace.
Schubert? I think the Palace.
Going in the door, they had a shot of people going in the door. It said the Palace.
Palace.
Yeah, it was the Palace Theater
Yeah,
Right.
in '87. Yeah.
Well, we'll see what they come up with, and I'll try to get the people from New York. Mike, you'll get Denver.
Marty is he's got the responsibility to not only do the venues and find all that out, but he's also got the problem of contacting all of the waiters, bartenders, and managers and things of this fashion. So
But Ira's can help him with it.
if you
Yeah,
work
I'm gonna look for that too.
work with him on that.
Okay,
That would be very helpful.
You have his number, Ira?
I got it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Why don't you call him up?
Is he still involved with McDonald's?
I don't think so, but I'm not sure.
He and Yoakum were good pals.
Ed Alley's name came up earlier. If anybody has any contact information for him, will you send it to
Who?
me, please? Ed Alley.
Malawi?
Ed
Alley.
Alley.
Oh, no.
Ed is an Edward. Alley is in what between.
You know who has his contact information? Billy Blank, who's not here today, but
Okay.
Billy has it.
Well, Tom must have a lot of email addresses too, Tom, right?
I think Tom's not with us yet right now.
Okay, but he must have some addresses. He sends out a mailing every week.
Yeah, but that's
It's
going to
very
be later
limited.
accurate.
It's limited and it's inaccurate, what he's got.
Oh, is it really? Oh my.
Yeah.
Mark Heater's local. He'd probably go. I don't know how many people you'll get from far away from the West Coast. Who's ever out there?
There's not too many people out there anyway that work the mustache.
Yeah, there aren't too many from west of Colorado that work the mustache, but there's 5 or 6 people so far from Denver planning on going.
Mhm.
You talked to Bill Clark?
I've talked to Bill Clark. Whether or not he'll go, I don't know, but he and I had a long conversation about things the other day. I guess he and Susie had close to 3 feet of snow at their house over the weekend.
Oh, Jesus.
They had what?
I guess Bill and Susie had close to 3 feet at their house up in Genesee. That's
Oh,
just
yeah.
barely outside Denver in the foothills, Kim. And
Jesus. Ooh.
I'm curious to see how many people will come.
I'm gonna make a bet right now.
Go ahead.
200.
35 musicians, 15 service personnel.
That's a good guess. I'll bet that's a good guess. I'll bet.
50 people for the whole thing?
That's what. Now, no, I'm not talking about spouses. I'm talking
Oh, you're
about
talking about employees.
employees.
yeah, the musicians maybe vary, but we never had other than 87, we never had more than a few waiters and managers and people at any of the things.
Any of
but
them.
Ira and Marty
Oh,
and
most
you,
musicians, yeah.
Are you gonna do your job and get in touch with all of them?
I will.
We had 57 at Carnegie. Musicians.
57 musicians?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Then we're not gonna have 35 at this one. I'll change my bet. 30 musicians, 12 service personnel.
Yeah, you think so? Only 12, Barry?
I hope more. That's what I was
Yeah.
saying at the beginning of the Zoom meeting. I wish we had more of the waiters because we certainly, the ratio of waiters and service personnel to musicians was greater.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll find out soon. I wish they could all come to some Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
Is Joel going to figure out the nut minimum to, like for the hotels, et cetera? He's going to figure out how many we have to have for this.
I suppose so. That's usually what you do. But
Otherwise, he's going to lose money. Yeah. Anyway, I'm there.
I think I'll be there too.
Yeah, look, I'm a buy a plane ticket and hotel room, all of us, so we could shoot the same shit I shoot with y'all every Friday.
Right, exactly.
Oh man,
Except you
who's
guys
the
will be
wicked
playing
nut on
music.
this one?
You'll be playing music though.
Yeah.
I gotta work out some arrangement though for a nighttime concentrator, but I'll do it.
Should be interesting.
Oh, Yale's right there.
And Mike, you got to talk
Yeah.
to Mike Johnson. You got to talk to Petroselli about y'all driving because right now, who's the washboard player? We don't have a washboard player.
yeah, well, you're probably better off without one, but who knows? I'll try, Barry. I'll see what happens. But Joe and I have already talked about driving it because I told him I can't. I just can't do it. If it was New Orleans, which was a lot closer, I'd say yes right now. But I don't know. We'll see over the next few months.
sure.
But I don't know who would come that plays the washboard. Maybe Danny Sullivan.
Marty Fay.
I'll get Ira Gutman to come.
Oh,
Myra
really?
plays. Myra.
Betty Sullivan's not doing real well health-wise. She and her husband both. But there's some other guys up there. I don't know if Tim Greeley's still around.
You get little Ira.
Right, I'll
Oh,
contact
right,
him.
yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah, he plays.
Dalton Diamond.
I haven't heard from
Diamond, yeah,
Ira.
he's down in the south somewhere.
I haven't heard from Ira, but he's very loyal to Joel, so he will. I will bet you any amount that he'll show up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he will.
And Marty Fay plays washboard as well. So
Right.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, little Ira, he showed up for Carnegie, but I hadn't seen him at the last 3 since then.
Well, I haven't been to the last 3 either.
Huh?
I wasn't at the last 3. What was it?
That's true.
Punta Gorda,
That's true.
Clearwater, and
That's
what?
true. Yeah, and Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City.
He showed up for Carney, I think, just for Saturday. I don't think he was there Friday or Sunday.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Yeah, he came the last minute, I remember. He came, but he would come to Connecticut.
Yeah, it's a monkeys day. You know he likes monkeys. Yeah. Remember that, Ira?
He'll be there. Oh, shit. He would be there. So your prediction is what, 40 people, Barry?
I'm saying 32 musicians and 12 service personnel.
44.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what? Whoever comes will have a good time.
You bet.
That's all.
You bet.
Yeah, I don't care if it's just us 8 people right here on the Zoom. That'd be all right with me.
Maybe Ronnie
Hell yeah.
Sater will come. Ronnie Sater lives up there,
Oh, yeah, he'll be there.
right?
Yeah.
If he's okay, he'll be there. He was not doing well last I haven't got a note from him.
Jim, you gonna handle Boston Club too?
Well, we'll find somebody to do that. I was out of Boston early, so my contacts up there are pretty old.
I wonder who we could get that knows a lot of the Boston guys.
Dave Hickey.
Joan, didn't Joan work up there?
Joan and her husband Art Dragon managed it in the early 70s, but I don't know how long they were there.
Hey, Mike Johnson, you said Danny Sullivan isn't doing well?
No, she and her husband Jim have both had a lot of health problems for a number of years. I haven't talked to her for a while, but I'm going to try to get hold of her in the next couple of weeks and see how she's doing. But she did the washboard concerts with us in Connecticut and Ohio and California for years, but hasn't done them for about 8 or 9 years.
Joan would know about Danny because they stay in contact.
Yeah, and they've both been involved in the Clearwater Festival for a long time.
Oh yeah,
Jim and Danny and Joan.
Well, Joan's the major domo for that thing.
She's musical director, and Jim and Danny had something to do with treasury of it or treasurers of it for a number of years, but I'm not sure how involved they are right now, but I'm going to try to find out how they're doing.
Well, Jim is an accountant, so he's natural for that sort of thing.
Jim's a lawyer too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good guys. Good
Yes,
guy.
absolutely.
Danny was always known as the Energizer Bunny on the washboard concerts.
Yeah, her name was Gundel.
What?
Gundel. Danny.
Yeah, that's her given name. Who gives a shit? She goes by Danny, and she always has. It's like you go by Snake. Your name's Ronnie.
Yeah.
They changed her name. Danisek used to call her Gunny
That's right. That's right.
when he first knew her. Her name is
Snake.
Gundel. Gundel.
That's how I only knew her as Gunny.
That's right. For a long time, right?
Snake.
And then they changed. When
Gentry brought up,
Danisek and they came to Denver, when they came to Denver, they changed it to Danny, so Bob's wife wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, Gentry asked me a couple years ago, do you remember a guy named Reb Jernigan that came into Denver all the time?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what Larry did.
Reb.
Remember what happened to him? Mike was asking about him a couple years ago.
Don't know anything about him now.
He was a pilot for somebody.
No, he worked for TWA as a ticket agent.
Oh, I thought he was a pilot.
No.
Yeah. Haven't heard about him in years.
He used to work. He'd work the mustache. He also worked Shakey's, but he was doing like a 3 or 4 piece band at Shakey's, which was unheard of in those days. It was just like the mustache. So we had a stable of people we could call on if we needed somebody. It was great. But he was living up in Schaefer's Crossing last time I heard, and working with, yeah.
Reggie Lemon?
Yes, when he had an Italian place up there in Schaefer's Crossing.
Well, that would have been a long time ago because
Yep.
Reggie Lemon had a bar up there for a long time, but I think he's in Florida now. And things, but I haven't heard anything about him for a long time.
Yeah, I went over there and played with Reggie a few times when I was living in Kittredge.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't heard anything from Reb. I tried to look him up on the any white pages or yellow pages, whatever. I can't find anything for him. And he used to work for TWA, which of course is no longer around, so you can't find out anything about them. So I don't know where to look for him. You knew his wife, Michael. You knew Jan, didn't you? His wife, Jan Jernigan.
No, I don't think so.
She was a nice lady, but she was blind at the back. They lived up in the mountains. Lived up in the mountains, and she came in one time. Says, "Reb, you got to talk to our neighbors." They said that they got that big yellow dog over here again. I had to shoo him away with a broom. Reb says, "Big yellow dog." Our neighbors don't have any dogs. Walked out there. Here's footprints out there about this big, paw prints. She shooed a mountain lion away with a broom.
Oh, jeez. Oh. No, I didn't know him very
Red
well.
had a great house.
He wasn't, he didn't come in there a whole lot longer after I started there in 1970.
And Mike Johnson?
I saw him in 82, I think. Somewhere around there. Wasn't that the blizzard of 82, Mikey?
Yeah, there was one Christmas of 82 and then Thanksgiving of 83. They
Yeah,
were pretty bad.
yeah.
Mike,
Yep.
what years was it, Mike, when you were back in Denver for a few years, all those years ago?
Just 82. Yeah, that was only for 6 months.
Yeah.
I went back down to Disney.
Yeah.
Pete gave me a call, said, "Mike, get down here. We got a job for you." Peter Giannitti said that.
Yeah.
He gave me a call, said, "Come down here. We got the Banjo Kings." Remember
Yeah, I
that,
saw
Peter?
a guy interviewed on one of these interview shows that you guys know, Peter and Mike. Paul Scavardo, y'all know him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, he was
Excellent player.
interviewed on one of the
A
shows.
fine player.
Are you
Great
talking
player.
about the interview things called Trad Jazz that Dan Zellinger's doing?
Right, yeah,
He's done a whole bunch of them and they're very, very good.
yeah.
Even if you don't know
Well,
about them,
I was amazed. I went and listened to him on YouTube. I didn't know the guy, but he said he tuned it like me, guitar tuning or Chicago tuning.
Who did?
Paul
That's how he
Scavarda.
tuned his banjo, Scavardo.
Who did?
Paul,
Paul Scavarda?
yeah.
No. He's a tenor player.
That's what he
Tenor
said.
player. Strictly tenor.
But he also plays guitar. Plays
Well,
his
I'm
ass
telling
off.
you, if you listen to the interview, Mike, and then go look at the YouTubes, you'll see that ain't true. He's not strictly tenor.
I worked with him on Main Street, man. He was a sub with the band.
Check out the
And he
YouTube.
branched out, Mike. He branched out. He plays guitar. Like, I mean, he's just a monster guitar player.
And
He's a great,
he's playing guitar.
he's a terrific guitar player, and he also is a terrific banjo player. I mean,
He
he's
plays
a,
multiple tunings, I think, but he talks about it on this interview.
Oh, really?
Well, he says, "Do you ever get any guff from other musicians because you play guitar tuning?" And of course, that raised my attention because I've gotten guff over that. He said,
Oh, yeah.
He said a lot of horn players like the close harmonies. That was his quote. Watch the interview. That's what he says.
Barry, do you use Chicago style?
Say what now?
Do you tune Chicago style?
Yes.
So do I.
Okay. Yeah.
Guff.
Well, speaking of Guff, I need to sign out and say goodbye to everyone.
take care, Pete.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, Pete, see you next week.
Yep.
Take
All
care.
right.
Peter.
Bye-bye.
Be good, man.
I'm gonna bug out too, guys. Take
I
care.
gotta go for dinner. I gotta go.
Sounds
for
good,
dinner.
guys. See you next week. Maybe I'll have some information who I got a hold of in New York.
You're looking good, Ira.
Thanks,
You
Barry.
got your hairstyle?
What's that?
Did you get your hairstyle?
Got my hair cut.
Yeah, you look 3 days younger.
Exactly 1 year ago was my last haircut.
I'm getting ready to get my hairstyle.
Me
You
too.
should.
Yeah.
You should get it styled. Both of them.
Me and Snake and Mike Johnson, we're gonna get our hairstyle.
We need like a pawn shop.
Teacher's doing a good
I
job.
like short hair.
Haircuts.
I
You
like
guys
short
take
hair.
care, all of you. See you next
All
week.
right, guys.
Okay,
See you
guys.
later.
See you
Next
later.
week. Hey, Barry, say hi to Danny for me.
I will. That's your boy.
You
Yeah.
too.
Take care, guys.
Goodbye.
See you.